Roblox is arguing that 8-year-old Audrey Heine waived her right to sue the company in a wrongful death suit following Audrey's tragic suicide. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to be just absolutely breathless at how evil this shit is.
Yes, what a bold new low for the tech companies that run our lives and ask us to fork over every right we may have. And in the midst of such a tragic story, there's just not really any words. Awful, evil, terrible. Gosh, yeah, normally I'd come up with a jokey throw here, but there's not really time for that. Brian, please take us through this.
So this comes from the Kentucky-based news outlet, the Courier-Journal. They reported the news yesterday, which revolves around Audrey Heine, who committed suicide just 1 week after her 13th birthday. Her mother, Jamie Seitz, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in October of 2025 against Roblox, alleging the service introduced her daughter to, quote, harmful and violent influences. The suit also names Discord and TikTok for heightening the social pressures that led to Audrey's suicide.
So all three companies have claimed in federal court that the lawsuit should be dismissed. Fucking assholes. Discord claims that they are not responsible since Audrey lied about her age when registering. In a statement to Courier-Journal, a spokesperson said, quote, our terms require all users to be at least 13 to use Discord, and unlike social media platforms that use algorithms to select content and maximize engagement, our service strives to enable organic, real-time interaction and connection. The statement goes on to claim the Discord Family Center empowers parents and guardians with tools to help their teen have a safer experience online while maintaining privacy.
TikTok, as far as their arguments go, they claim that it should be dismissed because the claims against it are too general and don't specifically apply to Audrey. So they're just saying, like, that's just general TikTok stuff. Doesn't involve this particular suit. So that's their argument. Roblox's claim, it's kind of similar to Discord's in one way, but a lot more disgusting in every other way.
Yeah, and they went one step further, arguing that if the case does proceed, it should only do so with, quote, limited discovery.
Gross. Yes, they filed a motion to compel arbitration, saying that Audrey and her parents waived their right to trial no less than 28 times. Those instances include, quote, by creating her Roblox account, by accepting updates to Roblox's term 6 times, by using and redeeming Roblox gift cards twice, and by purchasing Roblox's virtual currency on Roblox 19 times.
And Seitz explained what anyone who's not a soulless corporation would understand. She was a child. She didn't understand arbitration. She didn't understand contracts. She didn't understand what the little box could mean years later, but now they want a court to treat that click as though an 8-year-old knowingly negotiated away her right to have these issues heard. It's insulting. Hear, hear.
That is true. Seitz' lawyer Alex Walsh addresses the elephant in the room, saying that Roblox wants to compel arbitration because, quote, they do not want the truth about how dangerous their platforms are to come out. They don't want there to be a light shined on what they've done wrong and how many children have been harmed.
Absolutely. They're kind of in panic mode right now because they are facing more than 150 lawsuits, according to the Courier-Journal. Walsh's law firm, Annapol Weiss, is also reviewing more than 1,000 claims from other parents nationwide that allege some form of child abuse facilitated by Roblox. So the heat's for sure getting turned up on them. And like any good soulless corporation, they're just turning completely defensive right now and trying to make sure that no information gets out and they get to hold on to all their money.
So the basis of this whole thing is obviously a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare for pretty much everybody involved. Obviously for the 13-year-old that committed suicide. It was a nightmare for them for, it sounds like, probably months or maybe even years. And I know there will be some comments that across all of the spectrum here on our videos and everywhere else that the parents should have parented. I see that very often, right? The parents should have parented, and they're totally right. Look, again, yes, parents should be parenting. Yes. But also, there are companies like Roblox that cater to children. They're catering to 8-year-olds, absolutely, that do have a responsibility. They do, because they have formed this platform to bring kids in and to take their money. So they have a responsibility to actually make sure this stuff doesn't happen. And I've said it before on all the other Roblox episodes we reported on. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They've got the cash to do the things they need to do. And like Lawrence said, they're being sued by so many different people because they've just been negligent all the way around. So yeah, yes, this is all bad, but I really do think at some point, shouldn't we be saying that these companies should have some sort of conscience and should be responsible for these things? I think so. Me personally, I read all terrible stories about fucking Facebook and Meta, and they are the same thing, and TikTok and Discord. They have a responsibility. They do, to treat us like human beings. They can't just take our money and then be like, well, you know what? You clicked the box. Like, no, that's not the way humanity works.
Yeah, there's got to be some laws. Otherwise, you would sell the most profitable items, crack, to whoever. There would just be a fucking free for all.
Yes, exactly.
And I have kids. I agree parents should parent. I also believe companies shouldn't be able to do whatever the fuck they want, because sometimes parenting, especially in this age, feels like you're in a house in a zombie movie and all these arms are reaching through the windows and doors at your kid. And you can say, well, they shouldn't be online. They have to get online for school, for all manner of things. They need at least a laptop or an iPad or all this other shit. And then they want games. And so unless you have a kid, shut the fuck up about parents should parent. Like, we got it. And I also have an 8-year-old, and she would not know what the fuck waiving her rights are. And she's very, very smart. She can do a lot of things. She would have no idea clicking something. Oh, I'm giving away my right to sue Roblox in case something happens. And 5 years later, after being stalked or whatever by using this child predator machine that, like, I take my own life, that my family can't see that. They have no concept of that. They want to know what's for fucking dinner. That's their, like, they're little animals. At that lovely little animals that need to be protected. And we have had regulations. We have the Child Online Privacy Act. There's bipartisan shit. This isn't just like, oh, the Democrats don't want. No, Republicans are for this shit too. So, like, fuck off if you blame the parents is all I'm saying. I know that was long. I'm sorry.
No, it's justified. It's such a simple thing to say, especially if you've never had kids or even had kids 10 years ago. It's a different world now, and the sophistication of people to swoop in and move conversations with kids off platform where you can say and do whatever you want is really creepy. And I can see why that things turned out this way so tragically, that Roblox doesn't want any of this to come out in a lawsuit, and specifically doesn't want to have to argue this stuff in front of a jury, because any panel of human beings with functioning hearts are going to see what Roblox has done and see that they were very negligent. The Courier even points out that until November 2024, any Roblox user could friend any other user and chat with them freely. And that was just how it was. It wasn't until then that they made it so adults can't message kids under 13 years old. And only recently, because they lost the lawsuit or settled with another state, that they're bumping that to 16. How generous of them. So, it's kind of two-sided. If a lawyer can get up in front of a jury and say Roblox was negligent in all these ways while just making crazy money off these kids, any jury's going to see the sense in that. And what's even worse is then Roblox has to get up, put their lawyers in front of a jury and say, no, like, it's not our fault. It's her fault for clicking the box. She knew what she was doing. And that's so absurd. And for them to get in front of an audience, a jury, and in front of the entire nation, basically, and have to say that or try to say that, that's going to be so much negative press. So I can see where this is going. I hope it goes to where Roblox is just immolated. Hopefully we get some small payback for what they've taken from us. Not only our money, but the lives of children now. So it's just tragic. It's just tragic all the way around.
And this is also why lawsuits are good. Like, I know there's been decades of propaganda against frivolous lawsuits, but when there's not legislation, because everybody in the government's 80 to 90 years old and they don't understand this shit, lawsuits are our recourse to sue these guys into acting kind of right. So, like, this is why you need it right here. And Lawrence brought up a great point. Yes, it is so different than it was 10, 15, definitely 20 years ago. My parents didn't have companies employing psychologists to hook my kids on keeping them on their app a little bit longer. Like, the degree of difficulty now is so much different. So, it's really bad. And hopefully this, hopefully they get what's coming to them.
Absolutely, Lawrence is correct. They should be immolated. They should be just destroyed. I want to see them pay. I want to see every single dollar leave their pockets. Because truly, this is the only thing that corporations understand, is when they lose fucking money. And I hope they lose a fucking shitload. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of the greed. It disgusts me. And it makes me feel disgusting to report on this kind of stuff, and just thinking about the stuff that happens through healthcare industries. It's just gross. And like, just one of these motherfuckers who just get a conscience. It's like, literally have a conscience. I'm sure you have children. There must be C-suite executives at Roblox that have children. They must be thinking, what would I do in this scenario? They're, well, I wouldn't let them use Roblox. Fuck off, dude. You run the company and you owe now. So I hope immolated is exactly the right word, Lawrence. Way to go.
Yeah, it sucks that things had to turn out this way. It sucks that this is where games are. It's very weird feelings. I read in the story here that Audrey was kind of pulled into this community that weirdly idolized the Columbine school shooters. That was part of what they did. And it has me reflecting a bit on the trajectory of games in our culture. And yeah, there was a time when people thought Doom was the most existential threat, that it would turn us all into mindless shooters. And its connection with Columbine was kind of a noted thing. And politicians would cite that for a long time, being like, violence in games is getting too high, too much. But, we got the ratings, ideally, that empowered parents to make the decisions for what they wanted for their kids. But yeah, this is so beyond that. This is so much more insidious and cloaked, more effective than an 8-year-old playing Doom and just thinking this is awesome, shooting demons to metal music. That's pretty cool. But having grown adults with insidious minds that have practiced techniques to prey on kids, and part of that is also obscuring it from your parents. You have to isolate, and kids, they don't have the tools yet. It's just awful. Not only to get preyed upon by a corporation that has child psychologists, like Brian said, figuring out how to exploit your brain, but having bad actors under that system also trying to prey on you, all while you're just trying to live your life and grow up and figure out your place in the world. I can't imagine it. That's rough. And yeah, any parent has their work more than cut out for them to have to navigate that. So yeah, and reflecting on that, it's a shame that this is where games are. The various stages of moral panic has now gotten to kids losing their lives because of how they've been influenced by online games. So in a way, gosh, we've been around this block a couple times. They were quaint years when everyone was afraid of Doom and GTA, and now we just have a whole new monster on our hands. So hopefully people can throw a lasso on it, get some money out of it. Hopefully some people lose their jobs or even go to jail. That would be great. Normally we shout out our supporters. Feels a little off. I thank you for watching, I guess. But instead of doing any of that, we're going to issue you an Inside Gamer challenge. And that's to go hug your loved ones while you can. Pets, parents, partners, kids. Give them a nice warm hug. Ask them what's going on. Get involved in their lives and let them know you care. Sometimes we forget to do that.